What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with day 10 of the 31 Days of Horror 2022 edition. This is the first time watching for me. This is from 1980. We got Dario Argento's Inferno. Oh my god. This movie, I don't know if I like this movie better or Deep Red better. I'm going to have to double feature them eventually. I know this is part of the Three Mothers trilogy, but I think you could probably watch this and get away with it. I mean, I watched the film and enjoyed it in full, and I've never seen the third installment of the Three Mothers trilogy, which I believe came out in about 2007. Danny B will know the facts, okay? Shout out to the Trash Dash. Inferno, man. This movie is so fucking good. Like, I'm not going to give you an entire breakdown of the plot, but I just want to say the movie's about this guy that's going to help his sister out. You know, he's traveling from Rome to New York, and you know, he's got a bunch of things happen, not only to him but to his sister and to other people along the way. Great cinematography. This is actually the assistant director on this film was Lombardo Bava of Mario Bava's son fame, and director of Macabre, Demons, bunch of other fun stuff. So I went ahead and watched Inferno today, and I'll quickly say right off the bat, I'm not the biggest fan of Suspiria. I do owe it a rewatch because it has been a while. It's been at least a year and a half. I remember the last time I tried to watch it, I was like, man, I don't really like this movie. But I happen to own the, I think, Gemstone releasing of it. So everyone knows, like, you know, they're fans of collecting and stuff. They know Gemstone is not exactly, like, the best. I think my sleepaway camp films are Gemstone as well. So a lot of shit's cut, a lot of weird shit's happening. But I do owe Suspiria an extra watch. But Inferno, oh my fucking god, man. This movie, so good. So goddamn good. I love the sets in the film. Like, Argento, like, always knows how to pick, like, really good sets. Like, I love the old-timey library you've seen at one point. I love the, you know, like, the old-timey just, like, fucking antique store that has, like, weird shit. Like, there's, like, a cheetah head and, like, just a bunch of random cool stuff that you just don't see in antique stores nowadays. It's all fucking, like, stuff from the 80s. It's all like 80s toys and stuff. Like, I know that holds a place for people, but fuck all that stuff, man. I want to see a cheetah head, and I want to see like a fucking shrunken head. I actually got a shrunken head up there. His name's Pedro. But let's get to my favorite parts of Inferno. So I love another thing. I love the fact that there's this, like, movie revolves around a book. There's like a lot of this talk about books. Like, I love The Ninth Gate. I love, I'm trying to think of another. Evil Dead is a movie about a book, technically. You know, but Inferno was just so fun, man. And I loved, like I said, the old library, like, fucking, I don't even know how they would get to the top of that. Like, there's, like, ladders upon ladders. So if you need a book, you're basically, be prepared to climb for fucking hours. Some of my, this, one other thing, I'm talking about this movie assuming you've seen it. So there's that scene where, like, the girl goes into that submerged apartment. There's like an apartment that's submerged in water. It's totally fucked. Like, maybe once owned by one of these three mothers. Like, all these three buildings. Like, again, I haven't seen the third installment, so I can't really comment on that. But I assume the third one has something to do with another building, kind of thing. So we got some really, really, really cool and graphic kills in this film. We get, of course, the guillotine kill where this girl gets, like, her neck, like, she falls against a windowsill. And I think this has happened before, and I want to say Deep Red, maybe even. I think that chick gets impaled by the window, but this chick gets her head, like, not cut off, but, like, sliced with this window. It's totally hardcore, lots of cool blood. There's a really cool scene where these cats attack this chick, like, full force, and we'll get back to the cats in a bit. When the brother finally shows up from Rome to New York, and he's like, he has, like, that spell where he has, like, that attack, and he's like, my heart, and, like, this girl is just, like, out of the blue, she's like, here's some heart medicine. Like, heart medicine, like, you just fucking happen to have that. I love that shit. There's a scene where there's this old man that runs this old antique store, right? And he's got crutches and stuff, and he keeps being pestered by all these cats. There's like a million fucking cats near his shop that is just so happen to be, like, either across the street or right beside this main building setting where we're at most of the film. And all these cats are pestering, and he eventually, like, bags all these cats up, right? Puts all these cats into a fucking bag. And he goes to this river. At first, I thought he was gonna, like, throw the bag over this bridge, but, like, no, fuck that. He, like, takes it right into the creek, and he's, like, using his crutch to, like, push it down into the water. But there's all these fucking rats, and this is what makes it, like, one of the most terrifying sequences to me ever. Like, I'm dead afraid of fucking rats, man. And basically, he ends up losing his crutch, falls down, gets like attacked by these rats. There's this dude that's like running a fucking hot dog stand, like randomly in the middle of the night at this park. He goes over, it looks like he's gonna help him, but he ends up like stabbing him. And now this old man is like left alone there to die, being eaten alive by rats, which I just thought was fucking horrifying. Fantastic looking shots of rats in the water, and just wet rats. Like, ugh, man, that would fucking, like, if I, you know, in The Big Lebowski, when they throw that thing in the bathtub, like, if anyone ever did that to me with like a rat, I'd probably fucking just like break my own neck. I can't deal with fucking rats, man. Sick me the fuck out. But that was probably my favorite moment of the film. Well, second favorite moment of the film. We'll get to my favorite. I even wrote down here, random hot dog dealer finishes off the job and feeds antique clerk to rats. Out of control. There's this henchman guy that's sort of hanging out at the building and stuff. He gets his eyeballs ripped out. That looked really fucking cool. I thought that was great. Really liked the three sort of, so there was like the clerk, there was the henchman dude, and then these two chicks. One of them was like kind of a nurse, and she's taking care of this guy who's, he can only talk through way of like, you know, like a tracheotomy kind of thing, but it's plugged into a stereo. It's this total kind of like cool deal. That's the thing with like movies from this time, like it's only from the 80s, but you kind of forget that they had certain types of technology available to them. Do you know what I'm saying? And that was just like, damn, like what the fuck is that? That's some kind of like weird ass device, but really cool stuff. There's this old cunt, one of the chicks that's like running the show. I think she's the one that gives the guy the heart medicine. That might have been the other one, but either way, this old bitch, she ends up sneaking around, and she gets, the building gets lit on fire through one way or another, and basically she gets this curtain that's on fire like wrapped around her, and then she falls out the window and like breaks every fucking bone in her body and then burns to death, which is hardcore. Really thought that was insane. There's like near the end of the film, when our guy is walking through like the basement of the building, like super basement of the building, there's like that cave. It's kind of like a cave that he walks through, but there's all these like radical fucking figures and faces like etched into the wall, or like protruding out of the wall. I thought that was really cool, really well done. Like, again, the cinematography is on point. I think when you're talking about great films with great cinematography, often people talk about, you know, like Stanley Kubrick films and different other, you know, sort of mainstream films. Steven Spielberg films, people argue that those are shot really well. You know, there's countless other directors, of course, but James Cameron is another one. But, you know, Argento deserves to be up there and higher than a lot of them. You know, like, I don't think he's better than Kubrick, but I think he's definitely he's inspired by Kubrick. He's inspired by filmmaking. I think Argento is sort of like the Scorsese of Italy, if that makes sense, but in different genres, which is, you know, unreal. Awesome. I love the end scene the most in the film, because there's the last, it actually is the nurse. So the nurse is left alone with this guy, the brother of the chick that's been murdered, basically. And like, one other random fact, like, they have those tubes like in the hallways that you can talk into the apartments. Like, that's weird. What if you're like fucking, right? And then all of a sudden, like, you got a guy out there listening. Like, I guarantee that shit, if those are real, that shit happened all the time. But anyways, we got the nurse left alone with the brother, and she's like talking, and I don't remember her exact words, but she's like, some call us the mothers, and then she's like, others call us what we really are, and then she just like goes, death, and turns into the Grim Reaper, like real quick, like an actual depiction of the Grim Reaper, like skull, like rib cage, like wearing the cloak. I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? I loved it. Loved Inferno. I think it was one of my favorite you know, first time watches since the last time I watched an Argento flick, which was probably Deep Red, which is like last year, because I first watched Deep Red last year for the 31 Days of Horror 2021. So, you know, got to get another Argento on this list. You know, I had a blast watching that movie. I couldn't recommend it anymore. It's great. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching. Please leave a 666 in the comments. And with that being said, have a great night, happy Halloween, and safe travels there and wherever the fuck it is you're going. So, adios.